What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Bookworm's Book Corner, where we talk all things books. I'm your host, Elizabeth Berg, and tonight we are joined by my co host, my brand new Kindle, and we're going to be talking about Kindle purchases, my thoughts on what my Kindle is like, and then two book reviews of some of the books that I have read this past week. So, grab a drink of choice, get comfy, and let's start talking. So before I get started, I want to just introduce you to my Kindle. Um, it's so pretty. I purchased this like about a week ago, around the time when it was Stuff Your Kindle Day. I have been contemplating buying a Kindle for a while. Um, the reason why is because I'm such a big bookworm that I love holding the physical copy in my hand, but I also know that like that's not logical. Not always the most logical. You can ask my mother. I literally, when I went to go visit my grandparents, I packed an entire box of books. A box, like years big of books. And my mom's like, why, girl, why? So I purchased this for a couple reasons. Some of the books are going to be much cheaper on the Kindle that I've noticed. And also, I'm able to carry multiple books at once. So I have about 80 or so books in my Kindle right now. And I can just carry this around, like I literally can carry it on the bus, I could carry it in the car, I have it in my backpack, and I have whatever I want on my fingertips. So before we talk about, the Kindle world, I want to just do a quick overview of my Kindle itself, and I have my notes ready, so let's do it. So I bought a Kindle Paperwhite and it was $149. It did not include, the case or the screen protector or the pop socket, which I did buy a pop socket. So when I hold it, I can just, it won't fall on my face. And it also looks like licky. So yeah. It is 16 gigabytes, which is the most I could purchase. It's in the color agave green and it has a 6-inch 8 display. So let me show you what that looks like. I do not have Kindle Unlimited yet, so that is like $10 a month. And I have not paid the $20 yet to get rid of the ads in the beginning. So, for example, like this is what my Kindle looks like. You can just scroll, scroll, scroll. I'm really excited about this Kindle. I started reading books off of the Kindle app before my actual physical Kindle came. One big difference between the Kindle app on my iPhone versus, the Kindle Paperwhite is that the covers, which I'm such a weirdo about, the covers are not colorful on the Kindle Paperwhite. So, for example, some of the covers that are so pretty are just black and white. And that kind of sucks, but I mean, it's fine. Something else that I really like I said, is I can carry so many books at once. I've read, let me double check my count. This past week, since I've gotten my Kindle, I have read one, two, three, four, five, six, seven books, 8 books. Actually, technically eight. I've read 8 books on my Kindle in the past week. It's like, oh my god. So that was impressive. I won't lie, that was impressive. Something that how am I liking it? It reminds me of Wattpad. So my dad could probably attest to this. My parents would find me every day in the summertime and on like spring break and on weekends before I found out I get motion sickness, of course, sitting on the swing, just swinging with my headphones in and me looking at something. Wattpad is an online app for reading stories. So some of my favorite ones were like LIB or Love is Blind, Destined to Be With You, which is a boxing romance, Sweet as a Strawberry. That was literally, that one has my heart in a chokehold. I still love that one, and I want to be Charlie's friend. And fan fiction. Duh. And I would sit there literally for hours outside and read it in high school. Um, and when I say hours, I would get up at like 6:30, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I would sneak outside and sit there till like 10. And my mom would be like, "Get your butt inside," and I'm like, but it's fine. Like it just, so it gives me a lot of those like vibes that reminds me, that brought me comfort, and I kind of like that. I still really enjoyed my Wattpad until it like crashed and now it won't let me on it. So I can't access some of the stories I used to anymore. But that is okay. I will see if maybe I can make a new account and find them. But anyway, Kindle. 8 books this week. I'm really liking, how my Kindle feels. It's not very heavy, it's quite light. I've already bonked myself and Zach in the face with my Kindle. Um, so I mean, it wasn't too bad. It has a nice light to it. So for example, like I can adjust like the brightness and the warmth, as you can like kind of see maybe. So, like, I'm still getting used to it and getting used to the quirks of the Kindle. Is it weird not flipping the page? Yes. Um, is it weird just tapping and like getting lost and stuck with some of the things? Yes. Do I like that it can annotate it for me? Yes. So like it can highlight and underline things for me and then I won't mess up my book. I do like that. Let me talk about the books that I've read this week. I have read 8, 7, technically 8, but I mean, if we're going to get into like the logistics, 7. So I read, and the two that I'm reviewing tonight, I read an entire series that's out, and then I read 2 standalone novels. Um, and then like a little mini like extra piece. So the books tonight that I'm reviewing are called In Love with You by Faye Darling and then Death's Obsession by Ivana St. Graves. So I'm going to start with In Love with You. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show it on my Kindle app so that way you can at least see the cover of what it looks like because I want you to be able to see it. So let's start with In Love with You. It has a like really pretty cover. It is blue with like the ocean and then these yellow sunflowers. It was published June 7th, 2023, so it is fairly new. It is 393 pages. The average rating on Goodreads was a 3.36 stars. So it's not bad, but it's not great. Um, so there was that. I found it because of Book Talk on TikTok, and I was interested because what the Book Talk explained to me was that the narrator is talking to you, like the characters are talking to you, like you are part of the story. Now, be still my fangirl heart, you gotta love like the POVs where you get to fall in love with the main character and like you have these book boyfriends or book girlfriends and you can like actually be a part of the story. So that is what caught a lot of people's eyes. So I was really curious about if I was going to like that. I've read something similar to where a character falls in love with the reader. It was called Between the Lines by Jodi Picoult and her daughter Samantha Van Leer. I read it years ago and I love that book. So I was really excited about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the like summary first, and then I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. He's a surfer with a dangerous past, and she's a writer who's fresh out of ideas. They both know you're reading their story. The fourth wall is about to come down. Writer's point of view. Do you want to know a secret? I can feel you here, reading this blurb, the same way I can feel you turning the pages of this book. and I like it, reader. I like it a little too much. I'm not sure how or why you've appeared in my world, but having you close is a comfort when my life is about to be too uncomfortable. You're right beside me as I care for my sick mother. You let me express my fears and secrets that my sister is keeping. And most of all, you stick with me even when the tantalizing romance writer decides a plaid wearing, cold water surfing, part time bartending guy like me would be perfect for research. But the lines become blurred too quickly, and I find myself stuck between you and Luna, placing the three of us in the most mind bending love triangle you've ever read about. Are you here for it the way I am? And then Luna's point of view says, don't you think it's a bit unfair, reader, that you expect me to write a short summary about my personal story when you've already elbowed your way into it? Fine. You're not getting a full summary. You're getting a hook. So here it goes. I don't know if other writers talk to their readers strictly in their head, but I do. It helps me filter out what around me is book worthy or not. And let me tell you, reader, the moment I slam into a tall mystery of man in the surf, I know he is the book boyfriend material. He's the answer to every problem I have with my writing career at the moment. But what I don't expect for him is to be a real boyfriend material. Oh, reader, are you ready to finally watch your favorite romance author get caught up in a love story of her own? So, here are my thoughts. I gave it a 2.5 out of 2.5, a 3 on Goodreads because it doesn't do half stars. Um, I was really disappointed with this book. I was actually really upset. Like, I honestly almost did a DNF, which stands for did not finish. I almost DNF'd this book. But here's why I didn't. I am a complete pain in the backside, and I get stuck in my ways, and I needed to finish this book whether I wanted to or not. I was really disappointed with the book, and here's why. The book basically tells you that the main character in love with you, and you're in this love triangle. And you like the way that it was made to sound is that you'll be victorious in the end. Like he's in love with you, okay? And it's weird. Like I'm just to be clear, I am happily in a relationship. And when I explained to Zach my feelings about this book, he's like, I'm so lost. When you have a book that is telling you one thing and then it gives you something else, of course you're going to be disappointed. Um, I was truly upset. Like, I was really angry at parts. Like, there was this one scene where it got spicy. And it was a spicy scene between you, who's in his head, and himself, the main character. And it doesn't turn out the way you expect it to. And it just like one of the most common things on Goodreads is that a lot of the like readers felt used and led on. And I don't disagree. So this is what I wrote as my review. I think the biggest issue I have with the book is that the reader is involved and that Ryder, who's the main character, is in love with you. I loved Ryder and Luna's love story. And it's not a spoiler. I mean, it's literally part of the book. But if you're going to be honest with you, it sucks like that you're reminded that Ryder loves you too. And it hurts and it ruins the enjoyment of the book. Like being reminded that he's falling out of love with you and being reminded that you're not good enough and being reminded and like it sucked and it was like a slap to the face. And I mean, the problem is like it has good writing, it has good spicy scenes, but the concept of breaking the fourth wall and you being a love interest did not do any favors for this book. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. I really did like Luna and Ryder's story. I love that Luna's a writer and that Ryder is a small town surf dude with a mysterious past. And I really enjoy like the grumpy sunshine and getting to know people. And it truly did ruin the book for me, and I think that's what I'm so salty about. Is out of all the things it could do, it ruined it. So, do I recommend this book? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that really like the book. Did I like the love story in it? Yes, but did I like the fourth wall involvement? No. So, are you if you're willing to, like, go through that and go through those motions, then yeah, totally read the book. Um, but to me, I just didn't really like it as much as I wanted to, and I'm really disappointed about it. Um, so now from that spectrum of like that not happy romance, um, we go to a different book. So I just want to give you a heads up. Both of these books deal with like some hard scenes. And I mean, in the preview of In Love with You, it literally tells you so Ryder's mom is dying of basically brain cancer, and it hurts to read. It really does hurt. Like if you've ever lost somebody and watched them, change like that, like for a fact watching someone change the way from the way you used to know them, it's hard. It's really hard, and it sucks. So going through those motions with Ryder, like that was another thing that emotionally like drained me, but it was like those parts were good in the sense of like it made Ryder feel real. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, on the other end of the spectrum, we have Death's Obsession by Ivana St. Graves. Now, I read In Love with You on July 3rd and I finished it on July 4th. I read Death's Obsession on July 4th and I finished it in a couple hours. It is a novella that is 178 pages. It was published on June 9th, 2023. It has a average rating of 3.63 stars on Goodreads. So ironically, it's kind of funny that the numbers were flipped. It has a higher rating. Sweets is joining the party. Hello, Duchess. It has a higher rating on Goodreads than In Love with You, but has mixed emotions. It's pretty quick paced, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. Now, you're probably wondering, Elizabeth, where'd you learn about this book? So, if you remember from my previous video from about a year ago, I talked about different types of romance novels. And I talked about how I read both regular, like YA romance, I read like regular spicy romance, I read regular contemporary adult romance, just I read all sorts of things. But I also read dark romance, and dark romance is a little harder to stomach for some people. It just depends on the topic that's given. It depends on like all sorts of things. Those are the books that come with the trigger warnings, folks. Like, for example, let me see. Do I have that one here that is like right here? Hold on. I do. So, for example, this is not the book that I reviewed, but like if you read a lot of books when they are a dark romance have trigger warnings. See? So like Rogue is a dark romance and should be read by mature readers 18 and up. Um like this is the type of books that go with The Haunting of Adeline and all those other ones, which we will talk about eventually. So this is considered a dark romance. It is considered a stalker romance with death. I'm imagining my father right now, like face palming because he watches my channel. Hi, Dad. Um, so there are trigger warnings. This is a dark romance. It does deal with obviously death. It deals with, a bunch of other things too. So I definitely, if you are interested in reading the book or the novella, read the trigger warnings. Where did I find this book? I found it on Book Talk, and because of the author's dedication, um, to the reader, I'm not going to read it to you because I can't. I can't do it to myself. Again, hi, Dad. But anyway, it was an interesting book. It was quick paced, like I said, and that can be a blessing and a curse because when books are quick paced, that could either mean that there has to be enough fleshed out in the beginning to just lead you through, or else you get lost in the sauce. Um, I gave this book a 4.5 stars, like a 4.5. Um, 5 stars on Goodreads, and here's why. I don't give 5 stars or 4.5 stars to many, 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 many books. Or at least I don't think I do. I'm pretty tricky and picky about what I read and why I rate them. And here's the thing. I gave it a high rating because the emotions that the book gave me. I was literally sitting staring at the wall when I finished reading this book. And I'm still kind of at a loss for how I feel about how it ended. And if a book can impact you that harshly and that way, then it's definitely worth it. Some people compare it to poor writing. I didn't think it was exactly poor writing. I mean, I grew up in the time of Twilight. So, and I'm not dissing Twilight. I like Twilight, growing up Twilight like really shaped me as a kid, but like it was interesting. It has dual POV. It's mostly her and the main character's name is Lilith, if that tells you anything. Um I'm going to read you the plot summary. He's coming for you. Death is meant to take and come on a chariot of broken dreams or in the dark trenches of a storm, not in love letters and gifts. He did not take my soul when I was meant to die. He did not want it all the other times I've offered it to him. And yet, time and time again, he reminds me that I am his night monster, his dark love, and his perfect other. Death was the only thing keeping me alive, and he watches me from his corner, taunts me sweet messages, and he took the people I love away from me. But still, no one believed me when I said I saw the faceless man in the night on accident. No one can escape death. Me, I am chasing it. So, obviously, it's considered a stalker romance because obviously he's following her. Um, I did like the ending. However, it confused me, and I'm still kind of like I'm not sure how I feel about it. Um, it had some really good quotes, and I think that's what really, um, why I gave it such a high rating. I literally was sitting there crying. This was one of my favorite quotes, and it was close to the end of the book. You, my love, are like a storm, drowning the land with sorrow, shattering ships with your broken waves. Yet you still look into the eye of the storm and see nothing but beauty. He pulls my head into the side and dips down so his lips are against my ear. Let me drown in your ocean and feel your rage. Let me feel your waves crash against my skin, pulling me deeper into your depths, and you'll never be alone again. His thumb grazes my lip before he claims me completely with a kiss. You are the sunrise after the storm, the new beginning and the dawn. You, my flower, are beauty personified. Like, I think that was the one big thing that a lot of people loved. Like, the spice scenes were, like, had you in a chokehold. And then, like, it wasn't too spicy. So, like, when it's 178 pages, not even, like, considered, like, a novel, like, if you have too much spice, it kind of just takes away from the book. Some people say it does. I don't agree. I don't think it took away from the book. I think it put it in there in the right way. Obviously, in the beginning, she's scared. She doesn't understand, and she thinks she's hallucinating. But then she gets these messages, and like he's writing her these love letters. And in the end, I mean, the way it ended, I'm still kind of just like, what the heck did I just like? It still's bothering me. I don't know yet if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Um, so do I recommend this book? Yes, if you are interested in a dark romance novel that's not too dark, that won't like keep you up at night. Like if you know dark romance, like that to me, I think that was pretty tame compared to like some of the other ones that I've read. Um Like I said, I read it in a couple hours, and I thought it was good. Um, so let me tell you what's going to happen now. I have multiple books that I have read. I'm going to be doing, at the end of this week, another podcast with the next round of books. If you have a book you are interested in having me read, whether it's on Kindle or a physical copy, definitely let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. And most importantly, enjoy reading, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's the other piece I want to say before we close off for the night. Reading is meant to be enjoyed. And if you feel like you can't enjoy reading, then that's a problem. I think that's why. Am I having a fun time with my Kindle? I am, because it's easier as a picky reader. Like, I was sitting on the bus today, okay? Or not, well, actually, it was today. I was sitting on the bus today, and I thought to myself, do I want to read this or do I want to read this? I already have both of these downloaded. Like, I had the ability to pick and choose. Whereas if I had the physical copy, it would have taken me, like, I would have had five books in my backpack. So, do I recommend buying a Kindle? At this point, I do. If you don't want to buy a Kindle, at least get the Kindle app. I will, excuse me, the hiccups, say buying books can be a pain in the butt, and I can give a full, how to if you don't know how, another podcast. So if you have any ideas that you want me to review or talk about, definitely put them in the comments below. Like I said, have a good evening, everybody. Enjoy your reading, and I know for a fact, once we're done, I'm curling up with this bad boy and starting my new novel. So, have a good night. Bye, everybody.